I am very excited today to share with you my my finally finished English poetry junk journal. This one took me a long time. Some of it is because, I was trying some kind of new things. I wasn't exactly sure how to problem solve some of those things, but I think I've kind of figured it out. What I have figured out on this book and others is that I need to spend more time making books. I love making books. I would love to spend all day doing it. Sometimes I think maybe that's what I should do because it makes me happy. But what happens is if I haven't made one for a while, I sometimes kind of forget what I'm supposed to be doing. So that was my story about this one, trying new things and then actually messing up some of the things that I already know how to do. So here we are. I'm going to do a flip through for you. This is a chunky girl, as you can see. It is a big, fat junk journal, and I am just absolutely in love with it. All right. First off, you guys have seen the cover. And you know that the cover was inspired by something I found on Pinterest. It was a photo that I actually I did make a copy of just for my own use. But it was not, there was nothing in that photo information that connected it to any artist. So I'm not going to share it here because I can't tell you whose photo it was. So it's just one of those that I don't know. It like takes you nowhere. So let's start with my cover. Heavily collaged, mixed media. If you want more information about this cover and some of the things I did, I will actually link. I will link to a video for you up in the corner. All right. One of the things about this cover, besides being heavily collaged with lots of cool stuff, is that it does have a little hidden pocket, and inside that pocket is just a little journal card, just like that. And that fits quite snugly, actually, down in that pocket. So I don't think you have to worry too much about losing that one. Okay. Let's look at the spine. The spine is a soft spine. Because this book is so chunky, I wanted to make sure that it actually laid a little bit flatter than it would if it had a solid spine. So yeah, and you can see that I have used pamphlet stitch. You can see the stitching through the spine. And then where I attached the covers, I did leave the ends long, and there are some beaded dangles along the edge of the spine. The back is, I already showed you the back. The back was made out of a piece of a masterboard that I really liked. The cover does have these very ornate metal book corners on it. And then it ties closed with some satin. It's a combination of satin ribbon and seam binding lace. So the way this closes is, this is the first time I've done this, is with one of these little knobs. So yeah, so as this guy grows, which it might, you can adjust how tightly the bow is tied, and then that will help you to keep the book closed. Okay, well, now that it's open, let's do a flip through. All right. Now, one of the things that I wanted to do with this one is I loved this vintage book, this 5 Centuries of English Poetry. I loved the cover of it so much that I didn't want to actually make it the cover of the junk journal. I wanted to be able to see that in all its lovely vintage glory. So we have this first cover, and then we sort of have the second cover, which really is kind of decorative. Took me a while to figure out how to bind it into the spine, but I think I did a good job of that. Now, I did line the original cover with this beautiful handmade paper. I hope you can see that. There's some gold gilding of leaves and things, which I thought was beautiful. And then one of these beautiful book plates. Now, I did save back some of these book plates for myself, just a handful of them. But these are actually for sale individually in my Etsy shop. And I will try to remember to put a link to that listing down in the description. All right, so that leather spine is lined with some beautiful vintage tea dyed fabric. I've had this fabric around for a long time. It's an old sheet, but lovely floral, rose floral. All right, so let's go. Now, some of these signatures you've already seen. We've done a flip through. I did change the order of them. I was kind of like, this is going to be the first signature, but it didn't end up being that way. So this first page here, again, I will link to Anton's shop on Etsy where I got a couple of these. This is not the main thrust of this journal, but these are, this was a product that I got for him, from him for free. So I will link to his shop. All right, so we've got this nice corner tuck spot with a silk and paper flower up here. This is just a little piece of decorative paper. That's a nice little journaling spot, and I love these vintage cards. I really liked this paper here because I thought it was sort of reminiscent of this kind of little twig design on that. All right, next we have this just some gel printing, and then this page from a children's dictionary. So this has a card, but it is a tag, slips down into the back of that card. It's got a vintage French stamp on there. So that's just a plain card, good for journaling. And then this opens up, and inside is some journaling space. There's also another little pocket here. Lovely vintage playing card, and then just a little bit of, just a little bit of journaling that can go on in there as well. I just wanted to add a little surprise interest when you open that little card up. And then when you slip this in, that stamp keeps that closed for you. All right, here is a recipe book page that is backed by this beautiful pink pattern paper. Got some vintage, I think it's piano instruction book. I did edge that with some beautiful lace and eyelet. Here's some vintage map paper. And again, I love this book because the teacher put the check and the gold star. We've just got some nice journal spot here. This page, I did do some edge punching on to make it lacy. And here's a page out of one of those old art instruction booklets. Now this page has a triple pocket as well as a little bit of a hidden spot down here. I've got a little bit of a, I don't even know what you call it, just a flip out maybe tag or something, and there's some journaling spot in there. The corners just fit right underneath the photo corners there. And then I do have 3 pockets here. A nice journal card here. Oop. One also here, which is a vintage button card. I just liked the looks of that. And you can actually use that for some journaling space as well. And then this very large tag made from a masterboard, and there's some journaling space on the back of that. And so that fits right down in the back there. Here's some more gel printing, some beautiful vintage lace. The center fold is a page out of an old Ideals magazine. I loved this beautiful floral. In the middle, I have tied the signature to the middle, and there is one of those lovely mother of shell buttons that I have, and then some little shell dangles that match the dangles on the edge of the spine. Now here we just have a single pocket with a journal card decorated with a pretty butterfly sticker. And then here's a beautiful paper and silk little flower arrangement that I did there on the pocket. There's a center again. Oh, the center is also lined with some beautiful twine, just adds a nice little detail there. This side echoes the other one. It has a cute little pocket with some butterfly stickers on it, this time in more of a blue tone. And, oh, let me, if I can fit it down, back down in there. And then another lovely little flower arrangement here with some silk and paper flowers. I hope you can see that. Hope that comes in. All right. And we are on the second half of the first signature. And this will, just going to get us back in frame here. And so this will sort of mirror the first half. Here again is a triple pocket. Now down here, this is a playing card that I made a belly band out of. It's got a journal card and then this also little journal spot right here. And those fit right in behind that lovely daisy playing card. This also has a vintage Czechoslovakian stamp, just a little bit of a mini collage here. And then these pockets, echoing the other one, each have a journal card in it. Now each of these cards is topped with a little paper daisy and some vintage rickrack. So there's one here, two, and then three, quite a long one that sticks down into, fits all the way down into this pocket. Here we have that art instruction booklet, some more of that marbled paper with the beautiful punched edge. And here, this is just added on with one of those cute little gel clips that I showed you in one of my other videos. This is a coin envelope with some vintage ledger on the back. It does have some journaling space that you can pull out here. And then this butterfly, once you pull the journal card out, you can flip this butterfly up and there's some more journaling space also here. But this card kind of keeps that little butterfly tag part folded down. And that just fits right in there. Some more of that music paper, some more lace edging, another gold star there. The second half of the recipe page, and then here is the cat page from the little encyclopedia. This beautiful card here, just some reproduction ephemera, and then this sweet little journal card with a kind of a tab on it to help you pull it out and also push it back in. This one fits nice and snug, not tight, but definitely snug. And once you get it in there nice and straight, like I'm having trouble doing, it will stay there, I promise. All right, and then here we have a corner tuck spot. Again, just a little paper flower and some vintage seam binding ribbon and a little journal card tucked right up in there. And I loved how the colors played, lots of this lime green going on throughout this little spread, which I really liked. All right, here is the end of the first signature, just this beautiful floral graphic. Again, that is from Anton at Boutique Vintage Designs. Here we are into the second signature. This has a side tuck pocket. I decorated that with a little bit of a fabric ruffle and one of my pretty shell buttons. This is actually salvaged from an old greeting card. I love it. It's embossed. I hope you can see how the light plays off of that. Just some rickrack trim and then some journaling space on the back. Now here we have a single pocket that's got lots of different ephemera in it. And down here on the bottom is one of my coin envelope little hiders here. And there's some nice tea-stained paper, tea-dyed, stained, coffee-dyed paper that goes right in there. And that paper flower just fits right down into that. All right, so here in this pocket, I have a journal spot that was made out of an old rickrack packaging. Here's a nice, just a natural cardstock tag with beautiful pink ribbon. And then I love this dress fasteners card. I just left that as is, but I thought that would still be an interesting place to do some journaling. So those are the three pieces of ephemera that we have down in there. in there, in there. And this little tag is topped with a vintage British, English postage stamp with Queen Elizabeth. Here we have this beautiful woman. She's just an illustration from I think one of those Golden Book encyclopedias. I backed that with some cardstock, and that becomes a nice journal card. Fits right up there. Here's some napkin that I decoupaged onto this little game page. Here's some more from that art instruction book. I just did some punching along the edge. This is some die cut and embossed stationery. Beautiful. I just love that open design. And then here's, this was a plain page. I did some stenciling and then just a little mini collage with a beautiful floral sticker. Here is, this is a dictionary page from a Hungarian English dictionary. I lined that or edged that with some beautiful crochet trim and then backed that with a lovely floral napkin. And I just love that effect. You can still see the writing through the napkin. Here's a belly band, again, featuring Queen Elizabeth. And then also this vintage bibliography card that fits right down in there. And I think the pinks all go nicely together there. Here's a vintage game page from a teacher's activity manual. Here we have a nice piece. This is tea-stained wrapping paper that I did a punched edge on, and this beautiful butterfly graphic that was on that paper. Here's some vintage road atlas map. Also, again, some more tea-stained paper, and this is edged with some lace and braid trim. Here I just did a little mini collage, a little tag, a little leaf rub-on, and this beautiful little crystal flower. And then this is just some punched edging that I applied there. Here's our centerpiece. I love these cards. I did get a pack of them. I only have a few left. I'm going to be sad when I use the last one, but I think they're just beautiful. Again, in the center is a vintage mother of pearl button, and with the little matching bead dangles there. Okay, the second half of the signature echoes the first. So here we are, sort of a mirror image a little bit of that other page. So we go through, we've got eyelet and some braid trim, some road atlas. Here is that lovely butterfly wrapping paper and just a little bit of collaging on here. Some of that game page. Again, I put a nice big pocket on there. This is a double pocket. And this is an authentic vintage postcard. Just lovely. And then a little Monopoly card. Take a ride on the Reading. If you pass go, collect $200. And I just love mixing all this very eclectic group of things on there. This was part of a Stash Buster little series I did. And if I remember, I'll put a little link up in the corner to that somewhere. All right. Here's that dictionary page again, that Hungarian English. Here I did some stenciling, again, just some collage elements and a beautiful floral sticker. Here's that embossed stationery, part of that art book. Again, that napkin-backed little game page. And here I put another lovely vintage playing card. This time I backed it with some cardstock, so it's really a nice journal place. And then it just gets held in place by these, photo corners. Maybe, there we go, photo corners. All right. And this is the end of that. I'm going to echo that first page again with a little coin holder here that's got a little hidden spot to do some journaling. That fits right down in there. There we go. A lovely little, again, a little button card, but I did do some collaging on that. And then also this lovely piece. This is from a planner, like I don't know. just a planner, like a calendar planner book. But I loved this image of this garden gate. So on the back there is a lovely lined spot to do some journaling. I also added some stenciling just to make that white space a little more interesting. There we go. The back here, we do have a side tuck. I've got part of a button card here, some vintage, these are also shell buttons, very old shell buttons. A little bit of a mini collage here, again with Queen Elizabeth. She's my favorite. Another Monopoly card where you inherit $100. Woohoo! And then here's a little file card that I just dressed up with some pretty scrapbook paper, and that fits right in there. All right, the third and final signature. Some of you may have seen when I got some lovely tea and coffee stained eco dyed paper from this lovely woman on Etsy, Shy Girl Designs. I will again try to put a link to a video for you. Tucked underneath here is just a little journal spot, some pretty scrapbook paper, some fun sort of fringy trim on there. Turn the page here. We have I've got some cats on this page to echo my kitty cats from my dictionary page. These are actually transfers that you would use for doing embroidery. So these are some of those old iron-on transfers that you would use. I decorated this with a really pretty silk and paper little flower arrangement there. Tucked in there is this beautiful gold gilded paper journal card, just on some nice neutral cardstock with some lovely crochet trim up there. This also has some beautiful vintage pink velvet ribbon on the edge of that page. All right, so there's my cat page, some journaling spot here. This is another one of those kitty cats, and tucked under there is this vintage card. I've had it for a long time. I did do some stenciling just to grunge it up a little bit, but these shapes on here are actually wood, very, very thin wood cut out and then painted and decorated to look like a little tropical house under a coconut palm. So lots of journaling space on that card, and that is a little bit of a corner tuck spot and holds it right in place there underneath the kitty cat. Some more of that art book that I love so much. Yeah, I think I've got a page from that in each signature. I think I do. All right, here is another pocket. This is again some of my stash busting that I liked. I liked it that this said keep them flying, and then there are bees flying. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of funny. This is a little bit of ephemera from a children's book, and a nice cardstock tag that fits right down into that pocket. Here's a little flip out. I decorated it with just a little scrap of pretty scrapbook paper, but that is some tea dyed ledger paper that I tucked in there as a page. Again, some of that lovely pink pattern paper on the back of this great music paper. And then a nice belly band, again, a belly band that I made during my stash busting days. And it's got a very vintage chipboard bingo card in there. I just love that. And that fits right down in there. I did do a nice pretty punch along the edge. And then here is some more, yet some more of that art book. But I just think the graphics on that are so great. Here is a little corner tuck spot, again, heavily collaged. This is a snap fastener card. There's Queen Elizabeth again. And I just did some dangles with some of those buttons and some vintage satin ribbon. This is a pistachio nut bread recipe card that I decorated with a vintage ticket and some silk leaves. So there's lots of journaling space on the back of that. Nice big journal spot there. And then here is some crafty, I think from an embroidery book. This is from an embroidery book. There we go. Here is, again, the centerfold. This is another page from an Ideals magazine. as with the other ones, it's tied to the center with a vintage mother of pearl button and these little bead dangles. This has some lovely cotton string that's strung through here just as a detail. And on both sides of this, you're going to find some pockets, a double pocket. I was watching a Christmas movie on this day. This is a very Christmassy pocket. I didn't really mean it to be that way, but I think I was in the mood. So, and here we have a pocket that is decorated with some pretty botanical rub-ons with a butterfly sticker that tucks right down in there. And then there's another little card down in here. And these are decorated with pretty, it's like burgundy velvet ribbon. So it's really nice. And then this lovely vintage gold braid here along the pockets. All right, there's my center spread, bittersweet. I remember going and gathering bittersweet with my grandmother when I was a kid. All right, and here is the back side of that. And it's just an echo sort of the first pocket, a little bit different, different color scheme with the more orangey butterfly there. And these two cards that just fit down in those pockets just like that. All right, we're into the second half of the last signature. Here is some lovely braid and little rickrack trim on that page. I did a corner tuck spot. I love those cards. Again, that card is there, and this tucked inside here is just a nice floral journal card. All right, journaling space, some more of that art book. Again, some lovely tea and coffee stained paper. This is stuff I did. I haven't even started using the new stuff yet, but I will soon. And here's that punched edge. All right, another pretty belly band. And underneath that, this is a replica postcard. So this is not an original, but it's still beautiful. I just absolutely love that graphic on there. And that fits right down in there, just like that. Some more of that music paper, backed with the pretty pink pattern paper. Some more ledger paper, tea or coffee stained. Here's a tag, a heavily collaged tag that I made for a Defember challenge one time. Top that with some orange twine, and then that's just a little flip out area there. You can journal here and journal on the back there and journal here if you want to. More of that art instruction book. And then here on the other side of the cat page, I just put a little flip down with some tea stained ledger paper. Here we go. There's some more of that beautiful pink velvet ribbon there. And then our last page has room for you to add some of your own ephemera and pockets. That fringe trim there. And then this is the inside of the back cover of the English poetry book. So just lined that with some pretty green that I thought echoed some of the things that you see through. All right. Now the English poetry book cover also does have some smaller protective metal book corners on them. So there we go. This is nice and plain, so you can always dress that up. And then here's some lovely journaling area you can also do something with. Again, there's our back cover, heavily collaged. This is part of a master board. And I think if you might recall, some of these little pieces here that I love so much were part of the original spine of the English poetry book. And I thought it was kind of cool that I was able to incorporate some of that into this new junk journal. All right, so to close it, we just turn it over. Depending on how full it is, you can just compress it just a little bit and slip that bow over top of the knob. And there we are. There we are, the English Poetry Junk Journal. I hope you enjoyed that flip through. I hope you're still with me. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, if you like seeing these things. I really am hoping that, especially in the coming year, I can spend a lot more time doing bookmaking, because I really, really do love it. And I have I've been so inspired by other people online, and I don't want to copy them, but I do want to take that inspiration and put it into something and make it my own, which I hope I've done with this piece. All right, you guys, this is Cynthia from Recollect and Ramble. Thank you so much for joining me on this flip through. And I hope that I'll see you right back here again really soon. I also hope you're having a great day. Thanks, you guys. Bye.